tight. What do you think the defensive line has learned through the first 3 games, and how do you guys improve?
Definitely what we learned through these first 3 games were just getting used to our new style of play, getting more vertical upfield. I think we just growing into it more and just learn how to, get to the quarterback more, keep contained, stuff like that.
And with adjusting to the new style, what are some things that maybe you need to improve on?
We definitely need to improve on our energy. We're doing good. We've been picking it up in practice, and that's kind of helping the whole D-line, work together, get better in our drills and everything. So the energy's been good, so that's definitely improving us as a whole.
New Mexico, Kansas State running quarterbacks have kind of had success against your guys' defense. What do you think has made them so successful, and what are some areas that you guys can fix to help that area?
We're just trying to get to the quarterback, winning our reps, winning our one-on-ones, and pass rush lanes. We just need to work on that, but it'll come. Usually the sacks will come, so we're just keep on getting to the quarterback, and that's just what we're going to do.
Dalton, how much did the bye week help for you specifically and the team in general as far as getting over injuries?
Yeah, me personally, I would say it was good and bad timing. Bad timing, I wasn't able to play versus K-State, but good timing because I've had 2 weeks to heal up, and I'm good to go. And as far as other guys too, just coming off of a loss and then going into a bye, we're able to fix what we need to fix on the field, but also guys with injury and treatment, we're able to take that time and just recover.
Do you think you would have been able to play if there had been a game this past Saturday?
Yeah.
For both of you, when you guys watch film, is there a pattern to the struggles, like versus when? Is there something that you could say, okay, this is consistently happening and we can fix that, or what do you see on film?
I think nothing's too consistent. I think it's just more so trying to have all 11 guys be consistently doing their job correct. But I think it's always all fixable, proper coaching and, guys wanting to be coachable, it's all fixable.
Dalton, what are the challenges of playing a team that has a good tight end like Utah?
I like it. I think, the tight end position is dynamic and an important piece of offenses. Me personally, I get to go against a good tight end. So I see it as a challenge, and, challenges are fun. But yeah, they're able to do a lot, and, we just got to execute on our side.
And a question for both. What is it about Utah's offense that makes them dynamic and so good?
That's a good question. They're a good football team. Good head coach, good O-line, good running backs, and we just expect a good game. That's all we can expect.
So Dalton, I think this is the second year in a row that you guys are playing Dorning Singer. Was there any motivation going into the USC game last year, and you carried that this year?
No, I'm personally not. No. Dorian's a good receiver. He's a good guy. He's just on a different team now.
And then you played against him in practice when he was here. What stood out to you about those battles, and what do you think makes him a good receiver?
If the ball is coming his way, he's most likely coming down with it. So you got to be in good position and have strong hands versus him because he can catch the ball well. He's going to get it. So
You've played both inside and out so far this season, right?
Yes, sir.
How has that been working out for you as far as shifting back and forth between those positions?
It's really good. I like playing both. 3 tech and 5 technique. They're not much different. Just so you got a lot more space outside, and inside is just everything's coming at you right now. So just gotta adjust when I need to. So it's good.
And what are your thoughts on just the overall rotation that has been there for the defensive line?
We have a good group of guys. I trust everybody going into the game. We got 3 groups ready to go. So it's good.
Question for either of you guys. So we don't know what their quarterbacks are going to look like. How are you guys kind of going about preparing for both those guys?
just playing Utah, be prepared for whichever quarterback they bring out. We just got to execute, so we're just prepping ourselves the best we can.
Any more questions? All right, it's our time.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Good, Mike? All right, any questions for Coach Aquino? Justin?
So looking at Utah on film, what stands out to you?
Just a very efficient offense. A lot of different personnel packages, 14, 13, 12, 11, yet they can build 10 personnel settings, very athletic tight ends. They've always had great tight ends there. Reminds me of our old Stanford teams a lot. Good running backs. This young quarterback is very athletic. Cam Rising, I voted for him 2 years ago to be the first team All-Pac 12 quarterback. I thought he just was really efficient, And so obviously the young quarterback coming back is really helping them. Their receiving group is solid. Reminds me a lot of our teams in the 90s that we built here. Really solid defense, solid special teams, very efficient offense, well-coached team. I got a lot of respect for the whole staff, not just the head coach. I've known them all for a long time. Much respect to the staff.
Jason?
In terms of what Utah has seen defensively, teams have been loading the box against them and they're still successful in being able to operate. What makes them able to still run their offense when teams show that one?
Well, because I think they do the same things over and over, are very good. It went back to, you remember Ron McBride, who was on our original staff here. Ron was back there with Chuck Stobart back in the 80s, and he was one of the start of that hard run mentality there. I think they recruit to that. They recruit tough young men. I know a lot of them because they recruit the Islands. So just that, they've got a great culture on running the ball. That's what they're going to do. We're going to get good at that. That's where they're at. And then off of that comes hard run with play action pass shots and the bootleg game. So it really challenges your eyes on the defensive side of the football. So it would be a great yard to play in. I enjoy going to Utah. I mean, that's why you come to places like this to play in stadiums like that. They're very passionate fans.
What has been the biggest improvement in Chase Kennedy's game since he's been here?
I think just understanding the system. He's a great athlete, but now he's becoming more disciplined. Many times you have a great athlete that is chasing plays because he has that athletic ability to run around a guy or to try to make plays. as athletes, as you start moving up competition-wise, now it's about technique and all of that, because you're lining up against other people that have a scrapbook this thick too. So you just can't out-athlete them. So he's becoming more of a technician. I think, like some of the others that just showed up in the spring, he's starting to learn the playbook. This is not a game where it's add water, instant player. It takes time. And so he's constantly moving to get more physical and not just be a speed guy on the field, be more physical.
What stands out to you when you look at a receiver like Dorian Singer? And do you have any message to guys like Takari and some of the DBs just in terms of trash talk, not trying to draw a bunch of penalties?
Yeah, I think that's part of the nature of the game. I see a very competitive young man. I don't know him. A lot of these guys know him personally. I guess they were on the teams together. But I see a very competitive young man that has a great catch radius, great hands, tough young man, very passionate about his work, that jumps out at you. And, I like that. I like receivers that play like that. So it's going to be, he'll be a challenge for us. He's a good football player.
How well do you think overall the vertical approach to the defensive line so far has worked? And are teams maybe taking advantage of the aggressiveness on the outside with the edge containment?
Yeah, so we have lost contain. That's been an issue. We got to be better. And a lot of that is they weren't getting vertical when they were supposed to. And we lost the quarterback on a few situations where we were pressuring. I think these first two quarterbacks were really excellent athletes. So that's something, we do get vertical as a starting point, but we do zip and zap also. So we do have movement in our game also.
In terms of being the defense coordinator, been a coordinator before and a long-time defensive coach, but what have you learned through these 3 games, maybe about yourself and about the team, that you can take moving forward through the rest of the season?
Yeah, I still think with us, it's really interesting. Being in a situation in the past at some other universities and here in the 90s, where this season is much different than a year ago. If you recall, a year ago, this football team loses to USC and loses to Washington, and people are excited about that, And I've been at universities where you don't win by enough. And so the pressure has changed, I think, because the standard has changed through these guys' hard work. So I think that's one of the biggest things, is just staying resilient, understanding you're 2-1. There's a lot of universities across the country that would love to be 2-1 at this time. And we lost to good football teams on the road. We got another opportunity here to go to get another one. And all I know is when you come up with a tough loss like that on the road, and it's the next man up for us, all we know is to go back to work. That's all I know, that what we do, whether I'm at the University of Hawaii, Arizona, Texas, Stanford, now back here, okay? I wish we could win every single one, but all I know is you got to watch the tape, evaluate coach's performance, players' performance, be accountable to each other, which I think Coach Brennan does a good job with that, and let's go back to work. Because the only way you can solve things like that is we all understand that we've all been part of this, when it's good and when it's bad. And I think this team has embraced that, and we're just excited to get back and have another opportunity this Saturday.
How much did you miss Dalton against Kansas State, and what does he bring to this defense?
Yeah, so, not only Dalton, we lost Stooks too, which is maybe 2 of our better football players. And when you're playing with a team like that, the run game where there's a lot of misdirection, that experience. And Dalton just has a real gift of playing in the box. That's not an easy thing to do. When I say the box, now a safety that's playing into the interior, where he's just got a great feel for the football game. Also, he has a knack, as you know, to knock the ball out, to create turnovers and takeaways. And that's something that we could never get Mo back. We get off the field right before half. We've given up 7 points. We come out 3 and out. We have an opportunity there. We lose Stooks. And then we have an opportunity on 3rd and long to get off the field again, to try to create momentum. When you're in places like that, you're always fighting for momentum when you're in good football teams. And I think that's what BYU was able to do in this past game against them, is really flip the field with some big plays. So, but both of those are big playmakers for us. Stooks, as I've shared before, is one of the real best secrets in college football. And I say this, I know he can handle it because I've been around some really good defensive backs. And to have a guy that has his kind of skills in Dalton's was, that hurt us. But having said that, that's part of football. You're going to have injuries. It's next man up. We got to do a better job of coaching and getting guys in the field and all ready to play. And but it's comforting to see those two guys out there running around. Let's just say.
What do you think are some of the keys for your defense against Utah?
I think we got to stop the run. This is a team that will establish the run game and work the clock. And, they play a style of football. And through that hard run game, now take away the vertical throwing game. So it's an eye discipline game. We got to really do a good job with our eye control, meaning because of all the hard run with all the tight ends in there, and they got good tight ends, that we have to really discipline our eyes so we don't lose them when we're in man coverage, which, happened to us on one of the big plays against us a week ago, and we work hard on that. I think we have to create turnover. We're just not creating enough takeaways for us, so we've had some takeaways, things that we have identified that now we have to create momentum for our offense, and that's what big plays does. But you can just go back to that game against Oklahoma, just really did a great job of creating plays. And so we have guys that can do it. We've worked hard on our takeaway circuit the last 2 weeks. We do every week, but the emphasis on punching the ball out and finishing when you got an opportunity to make a play on the football. And when you get around the quarterback, think ball, and all those little things. So to generate momentum for this football team.
Last question, Ryan.
Do you expect Trayden to be back, and if not, who would be filling in that position?
We're hopeful, so we have a few possibilities. We've moved Genesis down in there, but obviously Gunnar had a situation too, so we have to keep moving pieces around. Owen Goss, is now training at 2 different positions. We got Gunnar training at a couple different positions, so you have to just keep kind of plugging pieces in and out. And then Stooks may have to go out to corner too. So it's just one of those things. You got to just stay loose and adjust, and we got to just see where it's at and work on maybe simplifying things if we get some younger players that are out there that have to play.
All right, that's our time.
Yeah, thank you guys.